Hello, Facebook, and guten Tag to the world on YouTube. Alrighty, so we got that up and running. I'm going back into Mevo Studio, Mevo, I don't know what it's called, and I'm going to turn on my MaxScale 39G. It's activated, battery's good, and I'm connected. That's what she told me. I'm going to start riding my 45 minutes, which consists of a 5-minute warm-up, a 35-minute at a whopping 110 watts, and 5-minute cool down. So while I do that, I'm going to drop my glasses over here, and I'm gonna find some tunage. The music I was listening to yesterday, which was on Pandora, it was called Saliva Radio. That really doesn't fit for today's ride. So I'm gonna go with wow, I got a lot of stations here. I don't think these are all mine. They just add a whole bunch of crap to everybody's. Yeah. Let's see what Will Smith Radio does for me. Except for, play an ad. So today I'm wearing my Hammerhead Karoo, my Hammerhead Karoo kit. And, yeah. Alright, so I'm not really going to have to go down in the drops too much today, but the thought was, wow, you literally will be able to see. Yeah, that's actually not a bad view, I don't think. Wow, look at my head bouncing like I'm listening to Will Smith, Miami. Well, I am. The zoomed out version is pretty tight already. I got the camera pretty close. I don't know, maybe I'll adjust it a little bit, but the lighting's not horrible. That light could probably move over a little bit. And that light could actually probably move down slightly. And it's a little brighter than this light. Yeah, you see where the light is there? See the shadow? See the shadow? And over here. Yeah, look at that. Go to Miami. So I do not like. I like the fact that you can see. Well, right now you can't because it's tuned in. So I like the fact that you can pretty much see most of me. You can even see my trusty water bottle here covering my junk. But I think the angle probably. I either need to back the camera up slightly, which I think I can do. I'm pretty sure I can do. Or I need to angle the camera up slightly so it doesn't cut off the top of my head. That big freaking forehead that I got that's growing rapidly. I guess that's what it means to be 50. Yeah, I also don't like kind of where the camera is mounted. So it's low. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the angle as I'm pointing at it, that it's between here to there, right? So I've got to be looking down to be looking at you, which is what I want to do. Versus if I move it up here, that's the screen that I'm looking at. Which you see, if I'm looking at the screen, my eyes are way up here, but the camera's way down here. And so I probably need to move that camera up a bit. I mean, if I was just going to look down here, which you know, if I was cycling, well, even if I'm actually on the road, I'm going to be looking up there, which is way closer to the camera. I could put a monitor down in the ground. Lots and lots of things to consider. But anyhow, today, I think you can hear me. It looks like you can hear me, and quite a bit of the bike noise, maybe. I don't know if you guys can hear. Like noises like that, that bling that just what happened, or the background music on ZWIFT. I always have it turned down, but on my actual computer, but I don't know if you can hear it. It looks like maybe you can, but I don't know. So, when I said I was looking forward to this recovery ride today, it's not so much that I'm looking forward to a 110 watt ride, because I promise you I'm not. I'm already getting bored with it. But physically, my body freaking needs it. Needs. It's not a want, it's a need. That's pretty funny. So I can actually move around quite a bit. You can see that, like with my head. But so the camera does follow me. I figured out how to fix that. It was a setting I didn't have set right. But it's following slowly. So I'm going to increase the speed at which it does that. Yeah, well, when I sit all the way up, you can see all of me. And you can see my two shadows. Actually, even here. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do with the camera angle itself. Like I said, I don't hate this angle. But I do hate that when I'm down here, I literally cannot be looking at the screen, which is way up there. And if I'm looking up there, it kind of looks awkward, like my eyes are rolling in the back of my head on the camera. So I gotta kind of have the camera and the screen kind of in line with one another. So my two options would be to get another screen and put it down there, or not. And move the camera up, which certainly is a lot quicker of a solution, because monitors are kind of rare right now. I looked, and I could get one that's about the same size as the monitor I have now, 40 inches. But like within a week. But the 49-inch monitor, which I'm not even sure I would like the aspect ratio of, yeah, I don't know. Just one more thing. Hey, right on there, RP Taylor. One more thing to think about. One more thing to consider. It's quicker and easier. I can move the camera right after this live stream. This beat is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock a rhyme that's right on time. Here we go. You know who that is? Run DMC. It's tricky. Yeah, so it's quicker, easier. I can do right after the live stream. I can move this one. So, oh, sorry. The screen over there, the black area, is intended to be where I have comments streaming. But apparently that's an extremely advanced technology, kind of like using multiple monitors to manage the streaming. Because there's a setting for multi-monitor, and when you turn it on, it literally, I did try it 3 times this morning. You have to completely reboot your computer because it messes everything up. The software is not highly functional. Why is it that I keep going to the middle of the screen around every turn? The middle of the lane. Oh, look at me! I'm just out here joyriding. Mostly all of my time. They always tearing what I'm wearing. I think they're going too far. Follows Daryl every gig we play. Then he kissed her and dismissed her. Now she's jocking Jay. Cause he's down with me. Huh. So, yeah, I see the reason for actually slowing down the camera movement even more, because you see the whole background moving when it's zoomed in with my head. Yeah, I mean, I literally... So, you can just, if you look at the shadow behind me, you can see how much that's moving. So the camera is moving with my head. I also don't like how there's more room over here than there is over here, so the shot isn't really... I'm working on it, guys. Yeah, the camera actually makes it look like I'm moving a little bit more than I am. It couldn't figure it out, so it went to the widescreen. Yes, this is the widescreen. I've got it cropped a bit to fit better on the screen. I may shrink it a little bit so that you see more of the game up there above me, where it's blocking off over the top here. I don't know, let me know what you think. It is getting a little warm now. Where's my heart rate at? Where is that? 126. I am pedaling a little fast, but this is self-selected cadence. I'm only riding for 45 minutes to an hour-ish, and therefore the excuse me. Yeah, like right now I'm looking at the screen, and you can see how my focus is up here. But when I'm looking at you, it's much more personal. You love it much more. You want to be a part of this because, well, I'm talking directly to you. So if I'm talking to you, you feel it more. Hey, route complete. The Duchy Estate. Duchy. Yeah, so if I move the camera up there, or maybe, yeah. I mean, it would be more natural when I'm riding, right? So if this is my normal, and I'm not saying it is, but if this is my normal position on a bike, and I'm riding, I'm kind of looking right there. So it's really just above where this camera is anyhow. So maybe I need to put a monitor down there. Bet you I could get this different monitor. I'm not sure, but yeah, there it is. I went into the middle of the lane again. But I think that the saddle on my kicker bike has dropped some. I'm gonna have to check my settings when I clean my bike after the ride today. By the way, all kinds of conversations on the Facebook Kicker Bike Forum where it becomes evident, it's very obvious that a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, because I'm pretty open about the fact that, you know, some people have freaking rags and towels and sweat guards, and I mean, like, they got so much shit on their bike. They complain about the location or the position or the size of the top tube of this bike, and then they add so much more shit on it. Whatever. People that own the bike don't complain about the top tube, but they load all kinds of crap on top of it. Sweat getters or sweat catchers or whatever. These cloth things. I actually had one. I tried it for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. You can't see the control panel down here, which shows you what gear you're in. It's right down here. And so I ripped it off. And it's just a piece of cloth. So it catches all your sweat, and it doesn't really keep it off the bike. And not all the sweat stop, like it doesn't catch all the sweat, right? So you still have to wipe down your bike every day after every ride. So I point that out. Like, oh my gosh, you wipe it down after every ride? I'm like, every freaking ride. Do you know how disgusting it is? I mean, I wash my bike after every ride. Why wouldn't I wipe down my trainer, right? You know how disgusting, like, your bar tape gets? Just from yourself, your hands, and the crap you're picking up from the road. But in this case, just the crap that's on your hands. And you're sweaty, and you're touching here, you're touching here, you're wiping your sweat off. It's all going back onto your bars, and your bar tape like absorbs that, and it's just freaking gross. So wipe it off. And besides, salt gets into little crevices. There were a few areas on the bike where they clearly did not think, and they have some screw heads that are exposed, so salt drips in there, and even wiping it out, it still builds up. Yeah, there you go again. So I don't know what it is with this steering on ZWIFT, that I can steer all the way over to the left, and it keeps pulling me to the center of the road. I don't think it does it while I'm riding. I think it does it when I get to an intersection. Like, yeah, I'm still all the way over to the left. Which, you know, up there in Yorkshire, that's the right side of the lane. So, now it's Will Smith's Men in Black song. He's had a few good songs in his career. I like that Miami song. I like that Men in Black song. I don't know. That might be it. Oh, there was another one there. I don't know. If I hear it, I'll point it out. So, yeah, I was one of the early adopters of the Hammerhead company. Their first product, gosh, this was over 10 years ago. Their first product was a device that was shaped like a T. It was kind of designed to somewhat look like, well, a hammerhead shark. And it hooked up to an app on your phone. I still have them in the box in my bike shop. Because I've got, I don't know, I bought a handful of them. Pre-ordered them before they even, like they were, I don't know, more than a year out in their design. But it basically hooked up to an app on your phone. And you entered where you wanted to go. There was no screen on this device. It was just LED lights to the left and to the right, and it started blinking when you needed to go left or right. It wasn't a headlight, it wasn't a safety or a navigational light whatsoever. It was just something to tell you when you should turn. At the time, it was freaking groundbreaking. Except for the fact that the app, I never even downloaded the app actually. I opened the box, but I never really even, I don't think I ever even took it out of the box. So, I don't think that the app even like tracked your performance. Certainly not your heart rate or your power or any of that. But I'm pretty sure it didn't even record your ride. It literally just, you know, you entered the route and you couldn't download a route. You had to actually create it. And it would tell you where to turn. I think maybe you just put in an address and it decided the route you were to take. I'm not sure, I don't remember. But, like I said, I never took them out of the box. So, I've got a few of those in boxes in my bike shop. Then, I bought two of they call it the original, Karoo. The second product that Hammerhead devised or created, which is a big ass, I've got it actually here somewhere. It's a big ass head unit computer. It's a big, beautiful screen with anti-glare touch screen with great mapping functionality. But the thing was massive and it was heavy. The coolest thing about it, however, was the fact that you could put a SIM card in it and it would automatically get map data in real time. The downside was it's like not even 3G, I don't think. So downloading the map data took forever. But then after a ride finishes, it automatically, without having to be connected to anything else, your phone or your Wi-Fi or whatever, it'll automatically upload to Training Peaks and Strava and, you know, all those out there. So I kind of used it intermixed with Garmin. Then I had an issue with my Garmin. My Garmin 1000, I think it was. And so I stopped using that and only used Hammerhead. Then Hammerhead came out with a new version. And I'm like, oh, at the same time as my Garmin literally completely crapped out. Like, totally. So, again, I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 of those. One of them doesn't work. So then I bought a Garmin 10, actually it may have been the 1020. Then I bought a 1030. Which is better, but it still operates like a Garmin. So Garmin is a mapping company, right? Like, their core business is GPS and mapping for aircraft and marine, cycling, even all the original handheld Garmin GPS pre-map devices, right? So you would think that Garmin mapping would be untouchable. You would think with the amount of data that they have and the amount of systems that they are both recording data from and creating these maps and the routes and everything else from, that their mapping program would be absolutely solid and seamless and just untouchable by anybody else. But the Karoo mapping, like the rerouting, the initial mapping, the interactivity of the map itself is far superior to Garmin. So a small tech startup that I'm sure isn't even profitable yet, I know they're not, has a way better mapping product than a company that at its roots is a mapping company, a mapping and routing company. So I like the functionality of the Karoo 2. The form factor is smaller. The mapping is still awesome. The data screens are really good. The interaction with both Bluetooth LE and ANT Plus in the head unit. I mean, there's really very little I can say bad about it, with the exception of when they came out with version 2, the Karoo 2, which is smaller and lighter, considerably smaller and considerably lighter. They made it, but it still has the SIM card, which I love. Like if they took that SIM card out, like Karoo would be a no-go. But they claimed that they improved the 10 or 12 hour battery life from the version 1, which is bigger and heavier, to the version 2. Well, in reality, the battery life on 2 freaking sucks. Again, I've got 2 of these. One is still in the box, because you always have to have a backup, right? And the other one, I don't know, it's probably somewhere in my bike shop. It's winter time. I kind of go back and forth still between the Karoo and the Garmin, specifically because I like that health metric thing on Garmin. I don't know if it's hokey. I don't know how realistic it is. I know that it tells you need way more recovery than you really need. But I like having that updated fitness information and all of that without having to go into Training Peaks or anywhere else. Being able to see it right in the Garmin and right on the computer itself. But again, their mapping isn't the best. It's better than it was, but it's still not up to par with Hammerhead or with the Wahoo product. But the form factor on the Garmin is great. The weight is great. The battery life in general is really, really good. And it's hokey. I think it's stupid, but they have a external battery pack, which means that they're concerned about the life of the battery. Yeah, I don't know. I think in a perfect world, I will tell you right now, I definitely use my Garmin 1030 more than I use the Karoo. I'm not even sure where the Karoo that I took out of the box and put the SIM card in and all that jazz, I'm not exactly sure where it is. I know it's in one of my event boxes anywhere. I've got those those square boxes. I've got one, like for events, one that has all my nutrition stuff in it, like my gels and my bars and my water bottles and protein mix and all that. So that literally when I go to an event, I can just grab that box and it's got everything I'm going to need. And I keep it filled, I keep it, it's like a go box. I keep it ready to go at all times. Because you never know when that event's going to pop up. Then I have a box. So, and I think I've looked in that box. It's not in there, but it could be. Then I have a box with just short sleeve jerseys in it, because we all have too many jerseys. None of us needs more jerseys. But you go to all these events and they give you jerseys, or you get caught up in the emotion. You're like, oh, that's a really killer looking kit. Let me buy one. So I've got one box of short sleeve jerseys that I wear. I've got one box of short sleeve jerseys that I need to just throw away because I will never wear them. Like events like, here's a good example. I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, I went to my first RAGBRAI, the ride across Iowa. And I was all excited about it, so I pre-ordered a jersey. I pre-ordered a t-shirt, or maybe I got a t-shirt as part of the event, but I pre-ordered a jersey and, I don't know, maybe a hat or something. Well, RAGBRAI, like a lot of events, uses, what company is that? Primal. Well, the Primal race cut fit is freaking baggy. Like, it's not like, this is race cut. This is actually, I think this, I don't know who it is. So, yeah, it's a little embarrassing because it just zoomed into my face. So as I'm talking about the fit around my gut, yeah, right here. So, it shows your rolls, it shows, all that stuff, but I'll tell you what, it is so much more comfortable, not to mention the efficiencies you gain from it, but it's so much more comfortable to have a jersey that sticks to your body and moves with your body, as opposed to it moving around your body or your body moving inside of the jersey. What happens over even a short 30, 40 mile ride when your body is rubbing against fabric? Your nipples, your stomach, your rib cage over here. Some of them are so loose, even your shoulders. You get sore. And if you're doing that for 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 15 days straight, you're bloody. I mean, it's... So, that's their race cut. Well, the event, in all their wisdom, they order their, I think they call it their club cut, which is code word for fat American cut. And that's the only option. So if their race cut isn't truly race cut and is already too baggy, you can imagine what what their club cut is. It's like a freaking, you're swimming in the thing, and it's constantly bouncing around and moving. I mean, there's nowhere where it actually fits. Even when I downsize, it's still way too baggy. But it's the only option. So I've got one of those. I do a ride in the summer called the Pan Ohio Hope Ride, which I'll talk about in more detail in another broadcast. But team I ride with, well, let's just say there are some people that are less fit than others. Not that they're not in good shape, but the whole calorie in, calorie out thing hasn't made it to their front and center attention at this point. So as a result of that, the team orders all Club Cut, or I forget what their DNA jerseys. I forget what they call their baggy cut, but they order all those. Now those actually fit a little bit better in the shoulders, but down here, you're freaking swimming in it, and you can just feel yourself moving around. Well, one of the purposes of a jersey is to move with your body, just like a chamois, to avoid abrasion, right? The second benefit of a jersey is to be streamlined so that you're more aerodynamic, so there's not drag. If a jersey is baggy and it's like fluttering at the sides or above your shoulders or wherever while you're riding, that's slowing you down. The third advantage, and to a much lesser level of importance or degree even, is compression. If a jersey kind of holds you in even a little bit, it is supporting more rapid and efficient blood flow through your body. And so, if it's baggy, again, your circulation isn't being assisted or aided or improved. It's a little less efficient, and therefore it slows you down, makes you tired quicker. So I have a whole box of jerseys like that I don't know, either have some sentimental value or I don't know, like the MCPC ones, the DNA jerseys. They're nice jerseys. The kit looks nice, but when you put it on and you're swimming in it, it feels like crap. So I never wear them. I'm never going to wear them. I actually, when I have to wear it for the event, I hate it. I regret having to do it. And then at that same event, the event itself, the Pan Ohio Hope Ride, orders the same cut jersey for everybody. And they want you to wear it on the last day as you're coming into the finish so that they can promote the event and say, oh, look at us, yay! But again, it's a shitty fit. So, I don't know. So I've got a whole, I guess I got off topic, but I've got a whole box of those jerseys that are worthless that I'm never going to wear, but for whatever reason I haven't thrown them away, and I need to. Then I have a whole box of my cold weather gear, both long sleeve jerseys, cycling jackets, different weights, different weight jerseys, 3 or 4 pairs of cycling tights, gloves, the finger gloves, the clamshell gloves. I don't know, 3 or 4 pairs of those. Different head gear, like the beanies and the full balaclavas and all that shit. So that's in another bin or box. If I'm going to an event where it may be cold, or it's definitely going to be cold, I'll grab that. Like, by the way, the Chili March Metric in Cleveland starts at Edgewater Park. No, it doesn't. It starts at Lakewood Park in Cleveland, Ohio, and is it's a metric, the chili March chili metric. I think it's I don't know. It's a metric century ride from Lakewood Park down into the metro parks, turn around, come back, and guess what you eat? No, you're wrong, it's chili. So typically, like the first event of the year, a good way to get started and challenge your body a little bit in the freaking usually cold, sometimes snowy, mostly rainy end of March. And then I just have a couple. I've got a bin that has travel tools in it. You know, not stuff that goes in my saddlebag, although my saddlebag is in there. I've got 2 different saddlebags, depending on which set of wheels I have on my bike. So those are in there. My bigger tools for more detailed maintenance are in there. Like if I have to change a cassette, I usually have 1 or 2 cassettes in that box. So I can change out my gearing depending on the route that we're riding. I'm trying to think what else might be in that box. Oh, I usually have some in that box. Well, either in that box or in the nutrition box. A lot of times in both of those boxes, I have some chamois butter. I like the Euro style. You know, it gives you that little tingly sensation when you put it on. Who doesn't like that down there? And then I have some soap or some cloths to clean my bike and my chain. I've got some chain lube in there because I usually wax my chain, but if you're at an event and you've got an emergency, I've got some dry lube that uses graphene powder. And so I put that on there. They're in that box. And probably that's about it. I mean, those are the basic idea of what's in there. So my Karoo 2 may be in there as well. I'm not sure. But then, beyond that, that's probably all the boxes that I have set aside. Oh, I've got another one. I guess I have got 2 more with the bibs that I wear. I have one that are bibs that are mostly for like indoor cycling. The shorter length, shorts. The thinner material. Sometimes as my bibs like get to the end of their life, I'll throw them into the winter training rotation before they get pitched. And I generally tend to rotate my bib inventory at the mid or towards the end of the winter season. And so if I'm going to try anything new, well, not these ones, but the cool bibs that I started wearing some last year. I started wearing them over the winter and kind of wore them. I bought like 2 or 3 of the different styles or the ranges that they have. Tried them out, evaluated them, ended up buying another one because I liked one of them. And then decided, they'll all work for outside. They're not my primary, they're not my favorite, but I actually have found while my go-to bibs are the ASOS bibs that, especially for like long multi-day events or even just for my 6-day training weeks, if I wear the same style bibs every single day, or you know, the same shape chamois, whatever, that it becomes less comfortable. And so if I change it up a little bit, just a little bit, then so 269 calories in 45 minutes, 0.9 slices of pie, 10.3 miles. Definitely not going to ride. I can't ride a whole lot more because this is a recovery day. At most, I could add 15 minutes to the day, and I really probably shouldn't add even that much. So maybe I'm just going to go to 11 miles, which is only just about a half mile. And I can do it at even lighter cadence, maybe. If I don't shift, then I can. Oh, well, I just did because I tried to come up with an excuse for my coach. It was just, I was mostly keeping it easy, but just had a couple. So I'm gonna shift a little bit. And of course I'm going down a steep hill right now. So what I have found in terms of the bibs and the chamois shape or profile, that it is best for me throughout the course of the week to change it up where I absolutely, the majority of my bibs are ASOs. But I'll throw a Woukout one in there one day, and maybe either another Woukout one, since I have 5 of those right now. I'm trying to remember what else I have. I've got a couple other bibs. I don't know. Oh, I got those Santini bibs from BASECAMP last year. And there's a lot of things about, well, there's only one thing really about the Santini jersey I don't like, and that's that the fit is great. I actually really enjoy it. A little tight, so if you're putting the pounds on, you're going to notice it, which is encouragement to get them off again. But outside of that, the shorts, the only thing that it's not that I don't like it. It took me a minute to get used to. And by a minute, several weeks, several times of wearing it. The amount of, so they don't have any seams, like at the edges, like the ASOS ones have like a band, right? So they sell, no silicone grippers. We just have the band, and they're so tight it's tough to get them on, right? Which is how shorts are supposed to be. Like so tight that if you can just pull them on, they're too big, or they're too stretched out. They need to be replaced. The Santini ones have the silicone grippers, and it's like a good 4 or 5 inches at the end of the leg, and then there's no seams, so it's just like laser cut at the end, which is nice. And the sleeves are that way too. It's tough to get them smooth, but the intention is that there's literally no drag of wind going by you, so they cut any potential resistance out of the kit. Obviously, it matters a lot for their core customers who are, serious pro racers. And I'm at 11.8. I was going to say I'll go to 12, and then I hit this long, heavy climb. And so it took me a while to figure. I actually really love the fit of their shorts, but with those leg grippers, you literally, before you put them on, you have to roll the ends of the leg openings up. Otherwise, they'll get stuck on your foot, on your toe, and then on your heel, and then on your ankle, and then on your knee, and you literally won't be able to pull them. Like, you have to like get in and adjust around each of those. So you just invert it, you turn it like inside out, pull them up all the way, and then you pull that part down. They do not move. The chamois, you know, it's not as high end as like the ASOS ones, which I love that they've got, you know, the form-fitting pocket up front. That also is thinner material, so it lets air in. Keeps you a little cooler down there. Keeps your jump nice and fresh. So it's not like that. It's not as nice or refined as that. But other than that, it's very comfortable. I don't have. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. And sometimes I get a little bit. It's a little wide in the crotch area, so it actually goes down onto your leg. And so, if I don't pull them on like perfectly correctly to begin with, they'll kind of move around my leg right near the crotch area, like not actually in the crotch, but on the leg. But they'll kind of move around there, and that can get sore over a 5-hour training ride, or even a 3-hour ride. All right, so I'm at 12 miles, 51 minutes. I think, I don't know if it was a 45 ride. I'm in at 52. I can't get yelled at yet. But I also don't want, I'm like I said at the beginning of this video, I am pretty fried from the last 7 days of training. And not fully recovered yet. Still a little run down. Definitely my legs are feeling it. But like this morning, I was just dragging, hard to get out of bed. I was just really lethargic. Actually, my throat's a little sore, but I think that's because of the changing weather we're heading in Cleveland right now. And I spent a bunch of time on a demo site, a construction site yesterday. So I'm probably paying for that a little bit too. So, but at least part of it is because of the training, because of how much mouth breathing I've been doing indoors in dry air, and I'm supposed to be breathing through my nose, but with my deviated septum and my exposed bone in my nose, it's really hard, especially with dry air, to breathe through my nose. And the doctor said that he wouldn't operate. He would not advocate for it or approve it or do it. So, I gotta live with it. So, that's on my throat. But I just, a lot of physical thingamajigs that are taking their toll from the last 7 days of training. And that includes Monday being an off day, right? Like literally no riding at all. Today, at least we have the option for a short recovery ride. And I'm really trying. I think I'm doing it pretty good keeping it a recovery ride. I'm going to ride to 13. But I was talking about my shorts, and I don't remember why. I think that the key is that I have learned. So when I first started buying cycling shorts, like a lot of people, probably most everybody, I first went to the shop and I'm like, what the hell? Why is there such a wide price range? Who would be such an idiot to pay? Back then, it was probably like $90 for an expensive kit, expensive bibs, when you can buy these $20 ones. And I see that talked about on Facebook all the time too, right? People are like, tell me about a good cheap Amazon bib. These are the ones I like. These bay leaf ones, or these, I don't know, whatever. I made that mistake. I went that route early on. Partly because I didn't know if I was going to keep doing this. Partly because I was just a moron. I very quickly, well, within a couple of years, I dealt with all the pains and aggravations, poor fitting, lack of performance in my gear. And when I decided I wanted to get better and faster and sleeker, I started buying better kit. And so now I totally understand. I actually buy, typically, like the ASOS, I buy like their top end bibs because I like the benefits of them. Like I said, that shape, that pocket in the chamois, and the fact that the chamois isn't sewn into the bib. It's like free forming, which means that it sticks to your body, not to the Lycra. But the higher the performance fabric, the quicker that it dies. And so you've got to understand, you know what? Buy the best shit that you can afford, but understand that you can't buy a $300 or $400 pair of cycling bibs and expect them to last 3 years or even 2 years. You know, if you get a full year out of them before the compression starts fading, that's actually probably pretty good. But it's worth it. If it wasn't, people wouldn't buy them. And I'll tell you, there is no difference between a nice, like those Santini bibs or the ASOS that are like form-fitting. You can literally feel the compression as like you've got to like inch them up both legs at a time until they get up, and then you really got to kind of get them in place, right? And you're like, you got to work into them. But I'll tell you what, your legs stay fresher longer. You can pedal harder longer. You can ride further without getting as fatigued. And it makes an absolute, I guess I might as well ride the 14, right? It makes a huge, huge difference. Incomparable to, I don't know, the cheap brands that, you know, every bike shop has front and center because they figure, I can sell more of these, rather than educating their customers about the advantages of spending a little bit more now and the benefits you're going to get out of it. But I learned that the hard way, as I've learned pretty much every lesson in my cycling career. Because, I don't know, I guess I'm pig-headed, and I think I can figure out how to pedal left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And who can teach me, right? Well, so I do things wrong and then go and learn with my tail between my legs and be like, oh, if only I would have asked questions to begin with. But part of that is because you don't know who you can trust, right? You can ask questions to the wrong person and they're going to steer you in the wrong direction. Like on Facebook. Don't go to Facebook to ask a question about your bike or your kit or much of anything, because there's too many people with shitty opinions that are full of crap and they're going to steer you in the wrong direction. Instead, talk to somebody who's knowledgeable, somebody who you can trust, and who explains to you the ups and downs of any decision, because there's a ton of decisions to make in cycling. And if you make the wrong one, you're going to pay for it for multiple years, versus the right one that you're probably going to pay more for up front, but you're going to benefit from it through that couple, 2-3 years that you're trying to correct from the bad information you were given initially. So it's worth it. Talk to the right people. Get the right advice. Find somebody that you can trust at a local bike shop. By the way, a lot of them are crap too. But find one that's going to steer you in the right direction, give you good information, and help you out. All right, so I'm stopping at 14 miles, an hour 30, an hour and 30 seconds. And now I am going to go, and I'm going to end the ride so that we can see what's going on there. We can see what data we've got from it. And it's going to tell us, menu, nothing spectacular because it was a recovery ride. I got a couple yellows, a little bit of green, but you know, nothing out of zone 3. Wow, much. 1.3 slices of pie, 358 calories, an hour of cycling time, 14 miles, 103 watts average. So it's pretty good for a recovery ride. Alrighty, so I am wrapping up the video. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I hope you like the new camera angle. I'm going to make some adjustments so it's even better for the long ride tomorrow. But thanks for being here. I appreciate